Okay, you see that chick right there? I know she cute. She a little bit thinner than I am right now. It's been a couple years, but this is Constance Carter, and this is the Think It, Build It, Monetize It training. Okay, this is a master class for aspiring entrepreneurs, and I just want to kind of go over who I am, what I do. In case you don't know me, I want to just tell you a little bit about my background, and then we're gonna jump right into it. Okay, so tonight, you're going to learn how to identify your genius. We're going to be working. So that's why I said, get your pen and your pad, your notes. You're going to take copious notes, but we're going to learn how to identify your unique genius. We're going to build a business strategy around what? Your unique genius. And then we're going to start monetizing. When? Next week? No. Next month? Next year? No, immediately. So I want to show you how to identify your unique genius. I want to show you how to build a business strategy around your unique genius, and then how you can start monetizing your unique genius immediately. Okay. Who is Constance Carter? That girl's me too. I think I was, I didn't put on a couple of pounds since then, but this was last year. So a little bit about me. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. This is a couple of pictures of us. We have the great thing about the synergy in the community that we built at Catalyst is that it was all love. Just beautiful community, like-minded women and men of all races. And as you can see, we are family. And so that was intentional. I intentionally created an environment to where people felt welcome, they felt supported, they felt loved. So that's what Catalyst was about. I am a real estate investor. This is one of the buildings that I owned. Actually, I sold this last year. This was the co-op. This was a commercial space that I owned in Sacramento, California, downtown Sacramento. Want to make sure y'all can hear me. Let me see. Oh, cannabis investor as well. Barbara said it's okay. You can say Stockton. I was in Stockton, but it was still the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. It was located in Stockton. I'm a cannabis investor. Now, you're not going to see this. I know it's a few people on here, but you ain't going to see me post this on Facebook. I don't post the money on Facebook, but every time I used to get my money from my cannabis dispensary, I would take a picture, send it to my family. And one time my dad was like, I saw you put that on Facebook. But he can't decipher the difference between Facebook and text. But this is my cannabis investment, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I was able to invest in this investment. But one of the things I used to do is I used to keep a lot of cash, which I don't anymore, by the way. But this was an opportunity for me to, make some passive income for my kids. And so there's some things that I do with this investment that is yielding a return for my children that generates compound interest, which is also important. Can't talk about compound interest tonight because we don't have the time, but it's one of the things that I do that I really believe in. Okay. And then I'm a best-selling author. I have several books. So Keeping Score, which was my first book that I wrote by myself, and it became a bestseller. I don't know how. And then I have these other books, The Secret of Breaking the Broke Code. And then guess what? We just released Unbreakable. So the Net 7 Collective, which is a cohort that I have, we just did an anthology. 17 authors from the Net 7 Collective came together, and we wrote a book. And it talks about our stories from struggle to resilience. It's a story of survival, sisterhood, and success. This was just released last week. So Unbreakable is available. So I just wanted to shout out Net 7 Collective, because this is one of the things we do as being part of the cohort is we write a book. And then I'm a TEDx speaker. I did a dope ass TEDx. Anybody see my TEDx? If anybody in here seen my TEDx, just put a yes in the chat. I seen your TEDx, Constance. It's called Google That Shit. And it's got over 440,000 views. I was hoping to get 1 million, but I didn't get 1 million. But it was a great TEDx. It actually was one of the best TEDx that I've seen. So, oh, by the way. And then I'm a mother. These belong to me, and they are so dope and amazing and trifling and lazy and all of those things. But these are my kids. They are all the things that kids are. And I'm very fortunate and very blessed. And you know what, guys? This is the reason why I do what I do. This is what gets me up every single day. This is what keeps me going. This is what keeps me motivated. I got to feed these jokers, but I also want them to see that everything is possible. I want them to understand the possibilities. And so when you have a why of why you do the things that you do, is easy. It makes it easy to get up and grind and hustle. So this is my why. And then I am a wealth activist. What does that mean? I am a person who looks at opportunities for especially the underserved. There are so many disparities in our community, and my goal and my job and my mission is in life is to bring awareness and information to people so that they can use tools to build wealth. That is my mission and my purpose in life. That is my why. See, y'all, every from the beginning of my career in anything, I had to figure out, okay, so when I used to do I have a background in IT, and I had to, for me to justify commuting 2 hours each way every day, I had to figure out, okay, what is motivating me to go? And it was always about helping and serving people. So even when I was in IT, it was like, okay, well, at least I'm helping somebody in some way, in some capacity. And that's always been my thing. So my passion has always been to help people, always been to help kind of close that gap, close that, when I was in high school, I was the president of the BSU, and there was a disparity amongst African American grades, and we had a D- on average. And so my goal was to close a great grade gap in high school, amongst the teenagers, amongst the students in my school district. And so that's just, I just always wanted to elevate. And so that's what I say my position is as a wealth activist, is just elevation. Elevation. And I tell you what, if I died today, I would be satisfied and I would be happy. My eyebrows is looking real good on this picture, ain't they? I would be satisfied and I would be really happy because I feel like I have really lived my purpose, done the things that I was called to do, and helped others in a significant and meaningful way change their lives. And oh, by the way, this shirt is available on conversationtees.com. You see that down there at the bottom. All right. So here's the why. Here's the reason why I do what I do. There was an article in Forbes magazine that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a zero. And that was actually the premise of my TED Talk, that Black median wealth was going to be zero. And so how do we close the wealth gap? That is a question, because there have been things that have been put in place. You got to think about the number one way to build wealth in this country is through real estate. And thankfully, I'm in the real estate industry, and I've been able to help thousands of people purchase property and build their wealth portfolios. That's been the beautiful thing. But the other thing is, there has been such a deficit in this country. So I always have work to do. There's always ways that I can help people because of the things that have happened. I don't know if you know historically, but in 1862 there was the Homestead Act of 1862. It was 3 years before the Emancipation Proclamation, and they gave millions of white people millions of land just by virtue of them being white, right? And so if real estate is the number one way that we can build wealth, and we were left out of the wealth building process by these types of ways, then how then can we catch up? How then can we close the wealth gap? And then when you look at in the 1900s, this is when my grandparents and my parents were small. They had what was called redlining, where they wouldn't give Black people loans because they were Black. And so then again, how do we close the wealth gap, and how do we invest in real estate, and how do we get in those positions where we're building wealth if there are opportunities not given to us? And that's why my work as a wealth activist is so important, is because there's so much disparity in this country by virtue of just sheer racism. But there's information, there's tools, there's secrets out there that I believe that we just don't have access to. But my goal is to give access to the masses. Okay. So 2053, they said that our wealth will be a zero. But I don't believe that. The premise of my TED Talk was that I don't believe that. They didn't fuck around and gave us the internet and Chat GPT, but that's a whole different story. So I want to talk about what's going on with the current administration. And this is the reason why I decided to offer this training. We've been talking about DEI a whole lot, and I know, this is exhausting. It is exhausting to see what's been going on politically, and everything's been politicized. This is exhausting, right? And what we know to be true is DEI is actually affirmative action, and affirmative action was actually the Civil Rights Act of 1965. The problem is African Americans we were disproportionately shut out of even DEI benefits, because the biggest benefactor to DEI were white women. 62% of the CEO positions or the executive positions in DEI positions were white women. They weren't Black people. So we weren't getting the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion benefits that we were supposed to get under the law. However, there are companies that are out there, especially in the Silicon Valley where I'm from. I worked at HP. HP, the culture was very employee centric. Before DEI became popular, they understood the purpose of having this in place was so that we can create a space where people felt safe, where people were celebrated, where our differences were celebrated. And what it does is it increases morale, it reduces turnover, and it just makes for a better overall work environment. But what these DEI rollbacks, the small advances that I think that we've got as African Americans with these DEI rollbacks is there are less opportunities, even less, even though we didn't get our lion's share of the opportunities that we were supposed to get due to DEI. These rollbacks have led to a decrease in hire and promotion. And you're going to see that across the board. This is why this training is so important. Okay. It's also created a loss of funding for Black-owned businesses. Did you know that many DEI programs provide grants and loans and mentorships for Black entrepreneurs? So with this rollback, access to those resources are going to be diminished even more, even further widening the wealth gap. Only 2% of venture capital funding goes to Black-owned businesses, and the removal of DEI support exacerbates this. Arian Simone is a friend of mine, personal friend of mine. She is the CEO of Fearless Fund, where they had words of venture capital fund for Black women. And they outlawed this, even though only 2% of venture capital fund goes to Black-owned businesses and even less goes to Black women. They outlawed this, saying it was discriminatory practices. So 88% of venture capital funds go to white-owned businesses. You see, there's this disproportionate amount of funds that go over there that don't come over here. And this is the reason why I wanted to do this training. This is why it's so important, because I need you to see what the numbers look like so you can understand what this means for you specifically. How many people in here work a corporate job? I want to know how many people, if you could say, if you work a corporate job, just write in the chat, corporate. And if you're a business owner, write in the chat, business owner. But I'm interested in seeing how many of you have corporate jobs. Because this DEI, it not only affects people in corporate spaces, but it also affects small businesses, especially when it comes to funding and government contracts. Only 6% of African Americans, and me being in the DMV now, seeing all of the wealth that some Black people have accumulated with these government contracts. Only 6% of African American actually get government contracts. 69% of the government contracts go to white-owned businesses, and 90% of those businesses are males. So if they're rolling back the DEI initiatives and they no longer have reporting mechanisms in place to assure that things are fair and balanced, then we're going to see an even bigger reduction in funding for these businesses. We're only at 6% right now. So this training is so important because I want to position you to get information so that you can start your own, and you don't have to depend on governmental entities, and you don't have to depend on corporate companies to get you paid. For far too long, we've been far too comfortable in these positions, and now it's time to light a fire under our asses and start becoming self-sufficient and independent. Okay. The rollbacks also weaken representation in education. The removal of DEI-related scholarships and recruitment has also limited access to higher education. So for your children that are going to college, this is affecting them. And DEI programs supported pipeline initiatives to mentor young Black professionals and leaders. Without these, fewer African Americans are entering leadership roles. But what if you created your own leadership role? Also, normalization of discrimination. See this, but you got to understand, America is so sick with racism that what they don't understand is that when you have normalization of discrimination, it actually there's a statistic that shows that when you have these types of environments, you actually make less money. If they understood how inclusivity can actually help the bottom line of their companies, then they would actually volunteer to have that diversity, equity, and inclusion. but people are so sick. It's, it's a sickness. It really is. 61% of Black employees report experiencing workplace bias in 2023. And this figure is expected to increase with reduced DEI in oversight. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm just giving you some background of the reason why I want to have this training is because it's time to get information, to be self-sufficient, and to be independent. This is muy importante. This is extremely important for the future, for your present, but for your future, for your children and your children's children. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance. And if we're so dependent upon governmental entities and corporate entities, then it's going to be even harder for us to be able to leave that legacy for our children. We got to get to a place where we're doing for ourselves. So the question, you guys, is how do we close the wealth gap? And if you look at my podcast, I talk about that often because we talk about things that are going on in America, but I also always try to give you some type of solution that's going to help you. But tonight we're going to talk specifically about going from ideation to monetization, to manifestation, to monetization, right? Specifically, we're going to talk about a solution on how to do that. But how do we close the wealth gap? They said in 2053, our wealth was going to be a zero. I don't believe that. Again, they didn't fuck around and gave us the internet and chat GPT. And for those of you who don't like nobody cursing, I curse and I love God too. So I'm sorry. But I just really believe that's true. I believe that we're resilient and we're going to move past that. I don't believe that we have to be bound to any of that. But I tell you what, with this new administration, they are accelerating that. They are trying very hard because they are afraid of the browning of America. You see that with the immigrants, with them trying to deport immigrants. You see that with them trying to give less opportunities. They are afraid of the browning of America. And it's okay because it's inevitable. Okay. So how do we close the wealth gap? Today, the median wealth for Black families is $24,000 compared to $188,000 for white families. That's less than 10% that's about 7%. We have about 7% of their wealth, 24,000 compared to 188,000. Now, we didn't get here by ourselves, right? I just told you about the Homestead Act of 1862. You got generations and generations to build wealth. You got you have the FHA that was introduced in 1939 that was supposed to make home ownership affordable, okay? That they did not give to Black and brown people. You have those opportunities that were not given to us. That's the reason why the wealth gap is so wide. You have intentional discrimination. On my podcast the other day, and if you go back and look at it, the theft of Black wealth, you'll see where there were affluent neighborhoods all over the country that were burned, bombed by the federal government or mobs. Also, you have what's called urban renewal programs where they, they put freeways through there, these communities where they use eminent domain to destroy the communities. This was all by design. They didn't have to put the freeways through these communities. They didn't have to put lakes and rivers in these communities. This was all by design. So you see, every time we take 2 steps forward, they push us 10 steps backwards. Okay. But we have more knowledge today. We have more tools. We have more resources. We have more wealth already in our communities. I don't believe that they can continue to keep us down. And so we know what's happening. And what I do believe is that in the last 50 years, we've been sort of in this slumber. We've been sort of in this sleep, right? And so we've had this illusion of this equity and this inclusivity and, all the affirmative action and all this stuff. And now we realize with this current administration, I believe that nobody's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. You got to figure something different out so that you can feed your family, so that you can build wealth, and so that you can close the wealth gap and pass it on to your children. I don't believe that 2053 we're going to be a zero. I don't believe that. So what is a way that we can close the wealth gap? Of course, real estate and all of these other things, right? Which are good ways. But tonight we're going to talk about how to start a business from ideation, to monetization. Okay. So now we're going to get into the good shit. I just wanted to give you some background on why this is so important, and the reason why Boyce and I decided, this is really a good topic for us to talk to our people about, because this is so necessary. Because we're left behind. If you look at in our communities, when you look at the people who have the hair care or the people who have the restaurants, they don't look like you. And so now it's time to start taking your power back. Stop complaining, but I'm going to give you the tools so that you can do it, okay? 70% of Americans want to start businesses, but only a fraction actually do it. How many of you all, just say by me or show of hands, how many of you all had an idea that you wanted to start, but you didn't do it? You didn't do it because of one reason or another. Yeah, maybe you were afraid. Maybe you didn't know how to do it. Maybe somebody discouraged you in some way. But there are so many of us. They said the graveyard is the most wealthiest place in the world because there are so many $1 million ideas right there in the graveyard. Uh-oh. Can you see my screen? Hopefully you guys can see my screen. But there's so many ideas in the graveyard, and people, for whatever reason, they just won't do it. They won't execute because they're afraid, or maybe they're afraid of failure, maybe they're afraid of success, or maybe they don't know how to do it, or they don't have an accountability, or they don't have the motivation. So for the people who did have the ideas, what has been the thing that has stopped you from starting your business? What has stopped you? Is it the motivation? Is it I don't know how? Is it the accountability? Is it fear of failure? Tell me in the chat what stopped you from starting that business that you want to start. Because I know that there's a lot of people in here. 70% of Americans want to start businesses, but only a fraction do it. In 2009, I filed bankruptcy, 379 credit score, foreclosure, short sales, car repossessions, all that. 2009. In 2010, I started Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, which went on to become the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California, a year after filing bankruptcy. I did it afraid. I did it scared. Sometimes, y'all, I had to decide on whether I was going to pay my mortgage or pay my lease to my office. And I was betting on me. So I paid the lease to my office, and it paid off. But you have to have the willingness and to just go all in for your dreams. So I just want to look at the comments on what are the reasons why you didn't believe it will work. Procrastination, fear of success, the funds, fear funds. Let's see, it might close in 12 months, it might fail. Funds, don't know how. You're probably content working for other people. Yeah. Legit proper guidance to get a trademark. Okay. The betting on you is paramount. It is. Licenses and regulations is my biggest hurdle. Distractions. You get comfortable. Y'all, I've been going to the gym for the last 14 years, right? 15 years, 16. No, my son is 17. So since my son was born, I've been going to the gym faithfully. In the last couple of weeks since I've been doing the podcast, it's just been really tough for me to get up and go to the gym because I go in the morning, but it's been really tough. So I go to the gym this morning. I'm like, F it, I'm gonna get up and go to the gym. Do you know how hard it was to restart? Legs was itching. I hadn't been to the gym in like 2 or 3 weeks. Why? Because I got in that mode where my muscles were not trained anymore. So a lot of times when we get content with just being and just doing the mundane of everyday life, and we don't push ourselves, when we try to, the atrophy, that's what it's called. So we got to replace that. So you got to just push yourself beyond the comfortability if it's something that you really want to do. Believe that somebody will pay handsomely for that thing that's in your mind. 70% of you want to start a business, but most people don't. And so let me just tell you, this is right here. Everything I do, everything I base everything on, I do it from these 5 steps right here. Let me tell you a little bit about it, because we talked on the podcast today my question was, how do we change the narrative of our conditioning, right? What is that one thing that we can do? And the thing that we can start to do is shift our mindset. huge. I've seen a lot of you said procrastination, fear of failure. Well, when you shift your mindset, you can do anything. Y'all, the first thing that you have to do is you have to think it. The Bible says, without a vision, my people what? Put it in the comments. So you have to have a vision for whatever it is you want to do. So think about that thing that you always wanted to do. And we're going to go into that exercise, but think about it. You have to have a vision. I know people who say, oh, you know what? I think I was meant to be rich. I'm going to go ahead and play the lottery. And they think that they're going to be rich by virtue of playing the lottery. They don't have a vision. They just want the money to fall into their lap. And for most of us, 99% of us, it's not going to happen. So we have to have a vision for the thing we want to do. The next step is to write it down. Why? The Bible says, write down the vision and make it plain. So whatever that thing that is in your mind, the next step you have to do is write it down. The third thing you need to do is you need to speak it. Why? Because life and death are in the power of the tongue. The thing that you have here, and it comes from your belly, and it goes to the tongue, and it goes to the universe, means that it's going to happen. When I wake up in the morning, I say, I'm gonna have a effed up day. Guess what ends up happening? I have an effed up day. When Biggie Small said, I'm ready to die, guess what happened? He died. When Tupac talked about death all the time, guess what happened? He died. Your life and your death are right here in what you speak over your life every day. So part of me getting up in the morning, part of the Project 369 that I do that I mentioned in the beginning, part of this, I write down my affirmations in this particular book. I write down 9 affirmations and then I say them every day. These are my affirmations for the year, right? So it's 9 affirmations that I just do every single day. Why? Because I'm speaking them as though they already are. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life over your life because what your words are prophetic. The things that you say, you already prophesy what's going to happen by virtue of what comes out of your mouth. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. The fourth thing you got to do is you have to work it. Why? Because faith without works is dead. So you can speak, think, and all that stuff. You know, I have a problem. I have a real problem with people who have this idea of, I'm just going to manifest. I'm going to just think about it, sit back and watch it fall into my lap, because that's not what's going to happen. You could think, speak, and all that stuff, but if you don't do it, if you don't embody it, if you don't line up under it, do the educational piece, do the research, it's not going to happen. I want to start a business. Okay, I thought about it. I wrote it down, but I'm not working it. Well, how the hell is it? What's the plan for the business? And then finally, you're going to receive it. Favorite scripture is, don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season, you will reap your harvest if you faint not. Don't forget that last part. Because we get to a point, a lot of times we'll get to a point where we're so, we're working and we're working and we're working and we don't see anything happening. And we're like, oh, you know what? It's not happening. It didn't happen in the timeline that I thought it was going to happen. So I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to go back and, maybe this is not what God wanted me to do. First of all, you need to have a clear knowing and message that this is what God wanted you to do. And if God gave this to you to do, guess what is going to happen? You just got to keep working it. It might be a couple of weeks. It might be a couple of months. It might be a couple of years, but it will happen. There is a reaping season and there's a sowing season. And the reason why you don't reap in the reaping season is because two reasons. Either you're not finished sowing, or you didn't do what you were supposed to do in the sowing season in order to start reaping. You will be right there and that gold will be right there, and you just turn around because it didn't happen when you want it to happen, and you might just be right there at gold. This happens to so many of us. So I really need you to really embody and embrace this. Take a picture of this. This is what I live by. This is it. When I want to lose weight, y'all, I think it, write it, speak it, work and receive it. When I want to make a certain amount of money, y'all, I think it, write it, speak it, work and receive it. When I want to start a business, y'all, I think it, write it, speak it, work it and receive it. This is the 5 steps that all successful people do. If you've ever read the book, Think and Grow Rich, there are certain things that highly successful, highly productive people do. And the people who think that this is, oh, this is just a sham, and this is all hoity-toity, that's the reason why you sitting on your gifts and your dreams, and you're not manifesting it, because you don't believe that it could happen. But when I look at my life and the things that I've accomplished, when I bought the marijuana dispensary, I didn't buy it. I'm an investor. I'm one of the investors in the marijuana dispensary. I set that intention. And do you know that once you make up your mind on what you want to do, once you've made a decision and you set that intention, then God is going to add everything else. I said, I want to, this is what I said. I want to have the opportunity to get into the marijuana business in one way or another. I knew that Black men and Black people were going to jail in record numbers. And I knew that white people were making trillions of dollars in the same space. And I said, I want a seat at the table. And as a real estate broker, when I filed bankruptcy in 2009, which was a year after the big mortgage foreclosure crisis, right? Between 2005 and 2008. And I seen so between 2008 and 2012, there were so many opportunities to invest in real estate. Houses that were $300,000 were now $20,000, and I couldn't participate because I didn't have no money, no savings. I'm bankrupt, busted, and disgusted. And I made a decision at that time that there will never be another opportunity that presents itself that I have access to, that I won't be able to do it. And so when I made the decision and I set into motion that I wanted to invest in this marijuana dispensary, and when the opportunity presented itself, guess what? I was ready. Why? Because I didn't spend up all my money. It was a 6-figure investment. I made sure I had the money. So when somebody called me about it, how much of a check do I need to write? Getting in position and setting the intention. And once you make a decision that this is what you want to do, that's when God conspires to make it happen for you. But you got to do these steps. Okay. So let's talk about the first thing that you need to do. Now, this is where I want you to get your pen and your papers. Okay. I want you to think it. Identify your genius. Now, listen, y'all. I need you to understand what that means. There is something that you do, and you do it very, very, very well. There is something that you do that people will pay handsomely for, that you don't even know that it's valuable, because it comes so easy for you, but it doesn't come easy for everyone else. So I'll give you a couple of examples, and I want you to think about this as I'm telling you these stories, and I want you to start writing this down, because this is actual work. We're working now. We in work mode, okay? Years ago, when I was teaching my agents at something, and I'm telling them, oh, you gotta do it, blah, 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 right? So I'm teaching them, and they didn't do it. And I remember my business partner, Sheila, at the time, she said, and I'm like, why are they're so lazy, is what I said. They're so lazy. Why aren't they doing it? And I'm thinking, because it comes easy to me, like it should come easy. I told him my 12-year-old daughter could do this, right? My daughter was 12 at the time. She's 25. So you know how long ago that was. And Sheila said, Constance, just because it comes easy to you doesn't mean it comes easy to everyone else. That was a light bulb moment, because I'm thinking, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. If I could do it, surely everybody else could do it, right? And I didn't understand that was something that came easy to me, and so I didn't value it. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up creating a training around it and made money from it, because I just put myself out there. Lisa Nichols, I don't know if you guys know Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols is a motivational speaker, one of the coldest motivational speakers in the world, right? Dope as shit. She's a mentor, a friend of mine. I'm in one of her classes. She's teaching speaking. I said, you need to teach this. She said, this? I said, this. She said, people will pay for this? Yes, they will pay handsomely. Well, how much will people pay? And I put out a number, and then everybody else in class was like, shut up, right? Because I'm like, I'll pay 10 grand for this. Everybody else was like, girl. So she created this training that ended up being one of her most lucrative trainings. But one of the things she said is, I didn't think people would value it because it came so easy and natural to me. Think about that. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. I want to give you a few minutes. And I want you to just sit and think about the things. I want you to, and if it's more than one thing, if it's one thing, I want you to just, in your mind, think about something that comes natural to you. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't. So think about what comes natural to you that you can do very easily. Okay. So I want you to identify your unique genius. What is it that you love doing? What are you naturally good at? And the biggest thing is, what problems can you solve for others? Understand this, y'all. Your genius does not have to be revolutionary. It doesn't have to be like, I was in one of Lisa's classes and she was teaching like business. I think it was global leadership. She was teaching business. And it was like, she had a successful business, but that didn't come natural to her. Speaking came natural to her, but she was doing this other stuff because she thought, oh, this is important and this is what people need. No, they need your speaking. So it doesn't have to be anything that's revolutionary. It could be something simple, but you need to have a need, and people need to have a need, and you need to be able to solve that problem that they need. But first, you got to identify it. So what is that thing? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write it down. Okay. So I'm going to give you the 8:43 or 5:43 if you're on the West Coast, but I want you to write down that your unique genius, the thing that comes easy to you. And I'm not talking about, the big, I want to invest in a $50 million project that I want to do. I want you to just think about the small things right now, because this is what's going to build to the big stuff. One more minute. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell us, share, please, some of your ideas. And let me just tell you this. There's 2 things. Don't share your ideas with people who don't have a vision, right? That's the first thing. So people on here, everybody got a vision for their life. The reason why they're here is because they do have a vision. But understand this, when people try to when you share your vision with other people and God didn't give them that vision, don't get discouraged because God didn't give it to them. He gave it to you. But the people on here, we have a vision. Everybody has their own. And also the other thing is, what I want you to know is what God has for you is for you. So don't ever worry about anybody taking your idea. There are 1,000 Constance Carters, but nobody could be Constance Carter like Constance Carter can. So I'm not worried about anybody else. You could teach the exact same thing as me, but you can't be me and I can't be nobody else. I never can emulate anybody else. So don't ever think that, oh, I don't want to give nobody my idea because they might steal it. Because if you take care of your business, you ain't got to worry about it. And if God gave it to you, he going to bless you. Okay. Okay. All right. So okay, let's see. Researching, planning, logistics, fashion, finance, teaching, fitness, creating the most efficient. Oh, I love that. The most efficient process out of anything. Okay. Okay. I'm a great helper, motivator. Many people come to me for advice. It's coaching. Yeah, I can simplify anything. I can open up a recovery place. Oh, I love that. So that might be investing in real estate and then getting the proper licenses. Okay. You love to spark interest in people. That's another coach. You can motivate people. I love to teach math. Oh, I have somebody in my cohort who actually does SAT prep teaching. And so she teaches, different, there's so many things that you could do online. Ooh, yeah, writing, problem solving. Okay, business acumen and selling. I love all of it. Encouraging, motivating, speaking one-on-one groups. What's up, Patricia? That's what's up. Motivating, organize, and serve. Be still and be disciplined. Writing, interior design. I can perceive. Cooking. Victoria. Y'all, shout out to Victoria from Victoria's Kitchen in Philly. Victoria, we got to get your training or your classes together. Victoria was part of the Net 7 Collective, and she has a successful, every time I talk to somebody from Philly, Victoria, they always know who you are. So I'd be like, oh, we had somebody from cohort 2 in Net 7 Collective from Philadelphia. And they be like, and they're like, who? And I'm like, Victoria's Kitchen. They're like, oh my God, I know who Victoria's Kitchen is. So you a little legend. I didn't know because I ain't from Philly, but you're a legend in Philly. That's what's up. I love it. So administrative tasks, people seem to talk to me about their issues. Maybe you should be a therapist, Dr. Sue. Dr. Sue is in cohort 3. A great coach and motivator. I help parents find things with children related. Someone actually told me I should start. Okay, that's great. That is a great start. Okay, so the second thing I need you to do is let's build a strategy behind it. Okay. So how do we build a strategy behind it? Well, first of all, we got to identify who your target is. Does anybody know what an avatar is? An avatar is your target audience. So let me explain something to you. So I built Catalyst, and I built it with a purpose. And so my purpose was to create a company that was very uh, client-based, client-centric. It wasn't about selling, it was about service. And so I ended up attracting those same types of people who wanted to serve people. And there's so many people that needed help. I never had to recruit anybody. People just were drawn to the business. Then when I moved to the East Coast in 22, I went through a very extremely tumultuous divorce. It was tough. And I had to reset. Thank God I had some investments, and I had to just kind of transition my business. And I sat down and I said, okay, what do I want to do? What's my next? What is my passion? What is my purpose? Well, I know my passion is always helping people. That's always been my passion when I was working in IT. And then when I was working in real estate, at the time, my passion was helping people. The purpose was helping people create generational wealth. Okay. So my passion has never changed. My passion has always been about helping people. So then when I thought about what is my purpose in this iteration of my life, and I looked at my life and I looked at what is it that I really, really want to and what I really desire to do. And it was, I want to work with Black women. Why do I want to work with Black women? Well, because I can relate to them. I can help them. And my goal is to be able to close the wealth gap. And I understand how Black women operate. There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation, right? There's an African proverb. So I sat down, and this is what I'm talking about, the avatar. In the end of 2022, I prayed, I turned off everything, and I went in my closet. Well, my kids were gone. I didn't physically go in the closet, but my kids were back in California. I'm home by myself. I had just got the other version of Project 369, and it came in the middle, and I said, I'm going to fast. And I ain't never fasted before or after, y'all. I ain't never fasted before or since. But I fasted, and I was so motivated because I was so hungry, spiritually and mentally for what was next, that the hunger pains were really like motivation. Like every time my stomach growled, it was like, oh, I'm conquer this. But I figured out who my avatar was. And I got very, very, very clear on my avatar. My avatar was Black women. Why? And so I identified who they were, what they do, what their shopping habits were, the things that they needed in life. What did I need to speak to? So what are their pain points? And so I identified that. And that's how I came up with my next iteration, which was a Net 7 Collective. So for you, I want you to think about that vision of that thing that you wanted to do, and who is your target audience. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to figure that out. The vision, but who is your target audience? And it's important, I believe, that you got to niche yourself down. You get rich in your niche, honestly. If you market to everyone, you market to no one. So really being clear and identifying who that person is and what they look like. 2 minutes. Write it down. Okay. So I would like for you to share. Who's your avatar? Your avatar is that person. Who is that person? So, like I said, when I decided on who I wanted to talk to, I said, okay, I wanted women from 25 to 65, but I ended up having women 80 years old that I ended up coaching that were in my cohort. I have an 80-year-old Harvard PhD. And what does she look like? And what are her spending habits? And what are the things that she wants in life? And what are the things that she's dealing with and she really struggles with that she really needs help? And I identified those things. And I started helping Black women. So let me look at what it is that you're doing. Okay. So I help people work better together, always put in situations at jobs where I solve problems. Okay, cool. I need to know specifically who you're helping. Net 7, cohort 2, the marginalized and disenfranchised people of color. Okay. I need you to get even more clear on that. Okay. So marginalized. So you're just helping everybody in what capacity? Victoria, cohort 1, net 7, working moms with multiple children or just children in general. Cooking. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, physically challenged, intelligent people. Okay, so intelligent people, but are physically challenged. Does that mean they're handicapped or in wheelchairs? Okay, I love it. Warren said he's targeting Black queens. Gail, student couples, parents, the less fortunate. Sparkle says, that's what I struggle with. I teach health and wellness. Seems like everyone is sick or on medication. Ninth graders in Black communities. Okay. Good shit, y'all. I gotta hurry up. I'm just, okay. Next, what are their pain points? What are their pain points? What are they dealing with specifically? A problem that you can solve. What are their pain points? So what are the things that they're dealing with and what can you do and how can you help them? So I want you to think about that and I want you to put it in the chat. Darlene, I help veterans resolve problems with their benefits. Love it. Black woman over 40 struggling from overthinking, which is stopping her wellness in her mind. Okay. Wealth gap mindset. I love it. Young Black children learning history before slavery. Okay. Adapt housing. Okay. What are their pain points? Post-secondary and post-bac planning. Single mothers, parents working on building family legacies or being the first in their family to build wealth. I love it. Lack of getting the bag. Okay. Sustainable careers, getting a good nutrition, divorcees. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Monique, make sure you post it out to everybody because you're just posting to me and the panelists. Young Black men unable to speak to business acumen, having conversations on midlife challenges. All of that. Yes. I'm only supposed to keep y'all on here an hour, so we're almost at the hour mark. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So you defined your audience, you're solving their problems, you identify what their problems is, and then now the next thing you need to do is you need to figure out how you're going to get your product or your service to the market. How are you going to get your product or your service? So if it is a physical product or service, what does that look like? So if you are going to, somebody said, I want to have a recovery home. Okay, so I got to buy the real estate, I got to get the licenses. What does that path look like to getting that? Okay. If this is coaching, a lot of you want to do, you want to help people in a certain way. You want to help disenfranchise people. Well, how are you helping them? Is this digitally? Is this online? How exactly are you helping the disenfranchised people? How are you getting to your target? Are you just helping people locally or are you helping people globally? So you got to think about how are you reaching, how is your product, how is your service reaching the masses? You want to create a customer service ebook. I just created an ebook last week. So listen, there is a saying that the idea doesn't belong to he who thinks it, but he who executes it, right? So we were on our podcast last week and we were talking about living trust. And I said, and I was telling them how to do a living trust using ChatGPT. And I was like, let me just write an ebook. So I took a whole Saturday, wrote an ebook. Now I put it online and I sold hundreds of copies already. Funny thing is, I work with some celebrities, right? So some celebrity, I've coached them on their businesses or on their wealth building, whatever. And I've been helping them. They've been using my my living trust, my online living trust. I'm selling it for $20 online. It's another way to monetize and make money. It's something that I know how to do. And I was like, let me just help people do it. $20. People are paying thousands of dollars for living trust. I put an ebook online to help people create their own living trust for $20. Like things like that. So I don't want you to think so grandiose that you got to do something so big. It could be as simple as an ebook, like you said. I just did that last week. Put it online and now sold hundreds of copies. Okay. So think about that. Okay. And the final thing is you need to market and you need to start monetizing. That's the third thing. So what does that look like? What is the platform that you're going to use to monetize? Is it social media? Yeah, it needs to be. You got to use social media. Even I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to show my face. I don't want to do videos. You can have faceless social media. You don't have to necessarily show your face or you don't necessarily have to talk. I just happen to love to talk. So I don't have a problem doing videos. But let me tell y'all this right now. Do not wait for perfection. And anybody who knows me, anybody who's talked to me, anybody that I've coached, anybody that I've dealt with, they know that's the first thing that I say. I was just talking to the other day, a gentleman who is he's an executive producer in Hollywood. So he reached out to me because he wants to start doing some of his own podcasting. And so he was asking me my advice and things like that. Now he's done movies. He works with celebrities, right? And so he's asking me, like, I ain't got that kind of like following or whatever, but for some reason he thought that I had the information, which I did give him some good information. But one of the main things that I told him out of all the information that I gave him on how to get everything going was, I know that you're in Hollywood and you're used to a certain look and a certain aesthetic. Don't wait for it to be perfect before you push it out. So many people wait until their product or their service becomes perfect before they will push it out there. And then they'll never get out there because they're waiting on perfection. Y'all, when I first started, y'all, listen, I'm still rough. Some of us, y'all, you don't even know. Sometimes when I put stuff out there, you just don't know what's gonna hit and what's not, right? So the stuff that I'll be like, oh, I just came out the gym and I ain't got no makeup on, but let me go ahead because I'm pissed off at this and that's the shit that go viral. And I'm like, God dang it, I could at least had on some eyelashes when I did the video, right? But then the ones when I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna kill him with this one. Oh, this is good. It's polished. It's, it got all the things. It goes wood. It has 24 views. So you just never know what's going to hit, but you just don't wait for it to be perfect. So some my early videos, I was chewing gum. People be like, girl, that gum show look good. Like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I was chewing gum. But you got the message. You got the information. Okay. So that's what I really want to impart on you is like, just be like Nike and just do it. Don't worry about all the other aesthetics and all that other stuff. When you know what you know. Here's the thing about me. I don't know everything. I know that. And I'm clear. I'm good on not knowing everything. But what I do know it very well. And there's something that you do know very well that can't nobody tell you nothing about. Stay in your lane. Know that. Become a subject matter expert at that. Get clear on that. And whatever else is going on, who gives a damn about that? Let somebody else be the expert in that. But you be the expert in the thing that you do. And then it don't matter if you rough like me sometimes. It don't matter if you're not perfect because you know that the information that you're giving is excellent. And then you could turn this one idea into many ideas. Y'all, you could create, let me just show you I didn't show you, I'm not even on my slide right now, but let me just show you real quick. About even creating a course, right? You can create a course using your intellectual property, the things that you know well. Say you did a course, Victoria, Jaynette, Dr. Sue, you did a course and it went viral. That the information you had was good information. A lot of people wanted it. I think, look at Terry Ijeoma. Millions and millions of dollars teaching people how to use stock to go on vacations. Millions, like $40 million. And her course was super cheap at first. And then people were like, whoa, wait a minute. I could, and then they start getting results. And then now her course is like $10,000, millions and millions. So imagine if you had 100 students that paid $99. That would be how much? $9,900 that you would make from that course. Say you had 1,000 students that paid a $99. You will make $99,000. I know you have more than 1,000 people on Facebook, friends, or on Instagram. Imagine if you could take those thousand people and you could take your product or service, that thing that you're really good at, and you sold it to 1,000 people of your 1,000 of your friends and family for $99. It's $99,000. And suppose it goes viral and everybody starts sharing your information and it catches on like wildfire. And now you have 10,000 people paying $99. That's $1 million that you can make. When it's broken down like that, it's easy to digest, right? And it's doable. You got people on your email list, you got your friends and family, you got people on Facebook, you have ads, you have people that you don't know. Because if you are able to capitalize on the thing that you do well, look how much money is possible. Now you turn that around and you have a membership model. And you have that and you make that in a month. So you have 10 members, 10 people paying you $99. That's $1,000 extra dollars. Can you get 10 people to pay you $99 a month? I think you can. That's $1,000 extra that you have a month just in passive income. If you put out an evergreen product, okay? So you have 100 people that paid you $99 a month. That's $10,000 a month, y'all. That's possible, right? And then say if you have 1,000 people that paid you $99 each, that's $99,000. That's $100,000 per month. Doesn't that seem like something that you should be able to do? It doesn't seem like it. It's just like eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It's possible. You got to start small. And I think the problem when I look in the comments and they're saying, oh, I don't know how to start, I don't have the motivation, I'm fear of failure, is because you're probably overthinking it. It's not as tough as you think it is. It's discovering the thing that you do well. And I know that you do some things well that other people around you don't do well. And it's being able to turn that idea into something that you can make money with, and people will pay you for it. I promise you, people will pay you for it. So that's what I do. And so that's the thing that for me, sitting on the front row and watching people do this is everything. Y'all, I'm telling you, I really, my life is so full because of the people that I see several of my Net 7 sisters here. The people that I've surrounded myself with and I've been able to help enhance and help them build their businesses. Like I could die today because I feel like I live my purpose because I'm helping people, but I'm monetizing it too. Like I'm not working for free. But if I could work for free, I would work for free. But I don't, because people understand value. And here's another thing that you really have to understand. People don't value what they don't pay for. Can I say it again for the people in the back? People don't value what they don't pay for. So even though it comes easy to you, a lot of times we give away our genius because we don't see it as valuable because it comes so easy to us. And then when we give it away, guess what? Other people don't value it. So I can tell you this, when I give my genius away for free, people don't show up, people don't value it, people don't execute on it. But the people who pay me, guess what? They see results. Why? Because they like, if I'm gonna invest this money, you better believe I'm gonna get an ROI, I'm gonna get a return on my investment. So I don't ever want you to sell yourself short on the thing that you do well. So pricing is important, having a decent price, right? You want to have a decent price that is reasonable. So you look at what the market is, because one of the things about us is we like to overcharge for the things that we do based upon, they call it a black tax for the black people. Your rent is too high, your bills is too high. So now you want to charge over everybody else. So now you're less competitive and now you're going to get less money because it's so much. So I want you to think about that. So those three things. So the first thing you do is you have to think about it. You have to have that idea. Okay. The second thing is you need to create your strategy. So who's your audience? How do you solve their problem? What's in it for them? How are you going to package it? And then you can monetize it. And those simple steps to create something, to monetize it, whether it's digital, social media, Shopify, whatever. And you create a marketing strategy around it. Okay. So I do want to, okay, so we're right at the hour mark. This is great. Great, great, great. I do want to give you an opportunity, and I do want to take this a little bit further. I think I want to take this a little bit further, and I do want to be able to work with you. Okay. So I only had an hour here to just kind of go over things, but there's so much more that we can cover to actually get you from ideation to monetization. And it requires a little bit more, right? Like I told you in the beginning, I've been around the country and I paid thousands of dollars, and I've done extensive amount of training. Sometimes, y'all, I be like, when I be knowing stuff, and I'm just gonna keep it real. When I knowing stuff, sometimes I be like, how do I know that? Then I be like, oh, I did a training on it. I remember. I surprised myself, but because I have this chip on my shoulder and I have a PhD, a public high school diploma, I had to do extra. I had to overcompensate because I felt like I wasn't as smart as everybody else because I didn't go to college and, I didn't have that post-secondary education. So I did extra, hundreds of thousands of dollars in personal development and professional development. And so everything I have, I give it to my people. So there is an opportunity, and I want to give you an opportunity to work with me. I want to tell you how you can work with me a little bit further so that you can monetize your genius. Okay. So let me just tell you this. All right. So I have some of my sisters on here from the Net 7 Collective. So I do have the Net 7 Collective that we're getting ready to start on Wednesday. Okay. So if you are a Black woman, if you are a woman or a Black woman, I want to give you the opportunity to work with me. I have 3 spots available if you are interested in the Net 7 Collective. And I normally don't even go out this close to the cohort because there's things that I send you in the mail. You get a book, you get a t-shirt, you get all these things, and there's some assessments. But I do have 3 spots available for the 5th cohort, which we're starting this Wednesday. But cool thing is this Wednesday is just the intro call. It's not when the real work begins. Okay. So I'm going to tell you about 2 offers. So please do not get off because I have another offer for everybody. This one is for Black women, but I got to offer for everybody for a way you can work with me. Okay. I want you to work with me. So I just need you so for those of you, anybody in Net 7 Collective that's on this call, that's on this picture, I want to give you a shout out. Who is the Net 7 Collective? This is a group of women. Remember when I said I sat down, I did my avatar. I said, who is it that I want to work with? All of these people were the women that I wanted to work with, were the people that I wrote down in my Project 369 book. They were the women that I manifested. They were all the women that needed me, but I needed them too. I created something that I needed. So these women came to me, they wanted more for their lives. They wanted to be able to live life on their own terms. They wanted to be able to increase their net worth. They wanted to be able to make money. They wanted to be able to monetize their genius. They wanted to do all of those things. And so when I put the information out there, they came. And this is just a few of them. This isn't even everybody. This is just a few of the ladies. So we've had over maybe 70 women in the Net 7 Collective so far that we've helped monetize your genius. So like I said, there's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So this is a reason that's one of my passion projects. So it's for Black women who are change seekers, who are ready to invest in themselves. They are committed to the growth. I am real big about not just being a hearer of the word, but being a doer of the word. Because one thing you're not going to do is say you came out of here and you didn't learn anything by virtue of being a part of anything that I had anything to do with. So I'm going to push you. I'm going to make you uncomfortable. I'm going to make you get outside of yourself so that you can do something different. That's what the Net 7 Collective is. It's for women. Okay. It's for women from all professional backgrounds. We have women who work 9 to 5s, who, may be a manager or may have a career. I have women who are doctors and lawyers and Harvard PhDs and scientists. And then you got me, who is a PhD, public high school diploma. But the beautiful thing about the Net 7 Collective is the community. I will say that. So I'm giving you all my knowledge and all my information, everything that I've done to help me to be able to get to this 8 figures that I've been able to make over the years. And I give it all to the women. But the true magic in the Net 7 Collective, you guys, is the women. The women that I was able to attract by virtue of me thinking, writing, speaking, working, and receiving it. That's the true magic. Y'all, I get text messages with the ladies who wrote the book. We on a text thread and they text each other all day, just encouraging each other and lifting each other up. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. That is the secret sauce. My genius in the Net 7 Collective is not only just the things that I know, right? But it's me empowering them to inspire one another. That's my genius. Okay. So that's the thing. That's the secret sauce. It's the knowledge, but it's the community. So not only do you have your 12 weeks. We just wrote a book. Unbreakable. Just released it last week. So you become an author. We figure out what your unique genius is. You learn about building your entity, how to get your business credit, all of that stuff. And Kamika, I think Kamika is on here. She said, I could not breathe. Oh, this was her chapter to her book. This was the chapter to Dr. Shirley's book. This is just a little quote that she had in her book. This is Miss Trina. Trina was on Tasha K. She went viral, like a bunch of million people. There's Miss Latanya. And let me just show you this video.
3 or 4 years. I've been praying for a business coach. I knew that a coach, I read many times that all the most successful people have a coach. Coaches have coaches.
I've learned how to purchase land. I've learned how to do overages in real estate. And I even learned some different things with credit, that I've gotten my credit cleaned up with my bankruptcy, that I'm almost in my home stretch. Doing everything right now and applying it.
Within 2 months of joining the Net 7 Collective, I had increased my credit score. I purchased land and purchased property. I also learned how to obtain government contracts for my business.
Finished 2 ebooks. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And started a nonprofit.
I want to thank Constance for giving us this opportunity to even get to know one another and giving us her time and energy, along with all of her knowledge, and just building a relationship with us, a rapport. She is exactly who she shows that she is in these videos.
The fact that we have been exposed to just folks that are just banging, that are like really doing it. Like, no shit.
I've gotten more out of this than I ever anticipated. Just the direction, like I came in here with a siloed mindset, and just seeing the opportunities that are out there when you open your mind and you get out and you meet people and you talk to people and you network.
Everyone on the platform, I think that we're blessed, and I believe in timing, and I think that the timing for all of us is now. We're here for a purpose, for a reason, and it's no coincidence that we're all in the same cohort at the same time, learning and building off of each other.
I don't know how I feel internally. It's just, I kind of want to single you guys out, but at the same time I don't, because I'm getting emotional. All of you have made an impact on my life.
You know, you just never know what you're going to expect. And I'm that person that can't stand all the rah-rah BS. I don't want any rah-rah BS. I want real. Just give me. And this was so 100% authentic. There's so much that I'm able to walk away with just because of how awesome you all are.
Constance has done an amazing job.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right here. So it's a lot of information, and it's a lot of I mean, just from the more recent cohorts. I know Dee Dee said Dee an attorney out of DC, and she said as a result of what she learned in the Net 7 Collective, she was able to get another job as a legal counsel to add on to, because when she came into the cohort, she was wanting. She's like, listen, you know, I've been very successful for a very long time, but I also need to be able to build my retirement. And so she got another revenue stream as a legal counsel, doing the things that she knows how to do, and generated another revenue stream. So just those things. We don't. So some of the women who come through here, they have an idea. Some of them have a business, are starting a business, and then some of them want to scale their businesses. Some of them want to create passive income. So it just all depends on where you are and what you need out of your life in that moment is what we give you inside the Net 7 Collective. That's what it is. So it's not just for business owners. It's not just for people who have an idea. It's all of those things. And we look at that specifically and how we can help you. And the cool thing is, like I said, the secret sauce is the ladies. So it's like a collaboration because we all give each other, we all feed off of each other. And any of these ladies could tell you, if any of them are in the audience, they could all tell you that they feed off of each other and they all give each other ideas on how to, it's crazy. When I think about manifestation and I think about what happened with the Net 7 Collective and how it's all coming to fruition, I'm in awe. I'm in awe on how this all works. So these are just more testimonials of different people who have gone through the program and what they've learned. And it's just been an amazing experience, not just for them though. For me, I created something that I really, really needed. So if you are interested in becoming a part of the 5th cohort of the Net 7 Collective, I'm going to let you know that you have an opportunity tonight, an exclusive opportunity tonight. But also, I'm going to give you access to a 2-day workshop. I'm getting ready to do a 2-day workshop, you guys, to enhance this training tonight. A 2-day workshop to bring your idea to life. So we are going to have a hands-on workshop. It's going to be 3 hours every day via Zoom, but it's going to be a workshop. You're going to get in breakout rooms. We're going to actually have your business. So you see how all this knowledge that I gave you tonight, I wasn't supposed to be giving you this much, but there's even more for me to give you. So as a result of you being a part of the Net 7 Collective, you get to be a part of this 2-day workshop where we're going to bring your idea to life. Okay, so you get that opportunity as well. And so for the public, it's going to be $997. Okay. Also, you get to be a part of the Grow Your Money Club, which is also $997 if you join the Grow Your Money Club, or $97 a month. Okay. I also will give you 3 one-on-one coaching. Now, if you look on my website, my one-on-one coaching is $500 an hour. So you get 3 coachings valued at $1,500 along with the Net 7 Collective. Okay. So typically it's $10,000. However, the Lord placed it on my heart for this year, for 2025, to make it more affordable to more people. So for only $5,000, you get 12 weeks of powerful coaching. You get this network of Black women. You have a lifetime membership to the alumni group. You get curated business development. I'm going to give you some coaching. You're going to be able to get your mastermind, all of those things for only $5,000. And I know some of the ladies who paid more than that are probably looking like, the hell, but this is what the Lord placed on my heart, y'all. So for this year, Net 7 Collective is $5,000 if you are interested. Now I do have some payment options. Okay. So if you need payment options, there is a financing company that will finance, and it's like $200 a month or something like that. So they will give you the financing for the $5,000, or you could do a payment plan. You could do the $5,000, if you have the $5,000, or you could do the payment plan. You could do 2 payments of $2,600. Or you could do 3 payments of $1,800, or we can do 6 payments of $1,000. But when you come out of this cohort, you are definitely going to be in a position where you're on your way. I mean, of course, it's not an overnight thing where you're going to be making 7 figures, but you're on your way. All that knowledge, all the scales that were all over your eyes are going to be removed. And now you're going to have an actionable plan of how to move forward. Plus, you're going to have a community of like-minded women that are going to go with you. And you're going to have a book. Unbreakable. The next book will be coming out probably in the next 6 months, that we're going to be writing a book. And if you want a podcast, all of that stuff, that's all inside the Net 7 Collective, whatever direction you want to go into. So if you are interested, I want you to go to constancecarter.com/welcome. Let me just show you the website really quick so you can go and listen. I got another offer for everybody else. So don't get off yet. I got another offer I want to show you, and this is for everybody. This is not just for the Net 7 Collective. Okay. So if we go to constancecarter.com and go /welcome, this is where you can go and pay for your Net 7 Collective. Okay. So if you go to constancecarter.com/welcome, here are the payment options where you could pay in full or you could do the payment breakdowns. Okay. If you are interested. And once we get that, then we will schedule your one-on-one so that we can bring you on. But here's the thing. Like I said, we're starting on Wednesday. There's assessments that you have to do. You have to do strengths assessment. There's all kind of assessments because this is not just your regular coaching program. I'm gonna get all up in your business and we're gonna figure out where your strengths are so that I can help you to get to where you need to be. Okay. Now, the next offer is for everybody else. So for those of you who just maybe cannot afford the Net 7 Collective right now, or you're a man, or you perhaps may not be a black woman, that's fine too. Okay. So let me just show you what I have for you. And if you still want to work with me, Net 7 Collective, look at. Y'all get the book and y'all get a shirt, a Net 7 Collective book. Okay. So for everybody else, remember that 2-day workshop that I told you about? So for the public, the general public, for everybody else, it's going to be $997. It's on February 8th and 9th. And for everyone here for the next 24 hours, if you use the coupon code BBS, it's only $397. Okay. So I'm going to help you to bring your idea to life. This is a hands-on workshop. Not only are you going to get information from me, I'm going to teach you all of the tools and the techniques that we talked about tonight, but even more. Then you're going to get to collaborate with people inside the community to be able to help you to hone your skills. This is 2 days. This is going to be in-depth, down and dirty. And by the time you are done, you will have a viable business. Now, where can you get a viable business for under $400 from somebody who's built several multi-million-dollar businesses and have made over 8 figures? Now, listen, I told you I charge $500 per hour. Okay. And so I'm giving you 2 days, 3 hours each, 6 hours, which is really worth $3,000 of my time. And I'm giving it to you for $397. I get tired just thinking about it, but I'm doing this for my people. So you're going to get a step-by-step blueprint. Okay. You are going to get interactive sessions and you're going to get tools to execute immediately. And you're going to get the accountability and support from the people who are inside the class. Okay. So if you go to how you get this one is the same website that I had from this is Think Monetize. What was it? Think Monetize. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. Thinkbuildmonetize.com. Thinkbuildmonetize.com. You click the enroll button and you put in the coupon code that says BBS for Black Business School. This is something that Boyce and I collaborated on so that we can give you a comprehensive business, not a business, but a business. And the reason why this is so important, you guys, is because everything that's coming down, you do not want to get caught holding the bag. You do not want to get caught depending on somebody else for your future. And so here we want to give you a full intensive workshop where we help you to be able to take that idea that you have, or maybe you have started a business, but go from ideation to monetization. So go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. Okay. Go to this website. This is for everybody. Thinkbuildmonetize.com. This is a 2-day workshop, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, where we are going to get down and dirty, and I'm going to help you bring your business to life. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to help you mind your business and create a sustainable business. Everything I do, I'm always about helping people create businesses. I can show you how to flip a house. I can show you how to do all these things. But if you don't have a solid foundation, Sophia, what's the girl's name from Nasty Gal? I forget her name, but I spoke at Facebook a few years ago with her. And she created this $50 million business called Nasty Gal. And what ended up happening, because she didn't have her business infrastructure correctly, she ended up filing bankruptcy a few years later. I think it was 500 million. It was something crazy, astronomical. But if you don't have the foundational pieces of your business together, I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how well you're able to do it. If you don't have the foundations of your business together, and if you're not willing to invest $397 of someone who actually built several successful businesses, then I don't know what to tell you. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, I don't know what to tell you, but I definitely want to encourage you all. Literally, I really want to encourage you all for the next 24 hours. This coupon will be available. It won't be available after the 24 hours. Okay. So it'll go back. So the people who ain't on this, who's not on this call right now, they get the $9.97 price, which is worth it. Shit, it's worth 2,000, but 3,000. But you all are able to get the $3.97 price, because I just care about you, and I really want to be able to help you to get out of the rat race. Don't have to worry about, what's going on politically. Don't have to worry about your life being in the palm of somebody else's hands. That's the beautiful thing. I get to wake up when I want to wake up. I get to do what I want to do. I get to go where I want to go and just live life. Like if I want to get up and go to Paris tomorrow, I can do that because I created this life for myself, and I want the same thing for you. Okay. So I'm now going to take questions. So if you have questions, go into the Q&A area. And I'm definitely willing to answer your questions. Okay. But when I tell you guys, I love y'all, and I really want to see you win. And I really want to see you invest in yourself, because that's extremely important if you want to get far. We need each other to survive. And there's so many secrets out there that the wealthy have and that they're trying to keep from you, that I just want to be able to give to you. It's shit out there that you have no idea that you have access to now. So check the website soon. It wasn't Google search friendly. It's not Google. No, I just actually forwarded this website. I'm gonna put the website in here. Think, build, monetize. Don't do a Google search for it. You got to put in the URL. thinkbuildmonetize.com for those who want to. Let's see. Think, build, monetize. No, that's not the one. Okay. I'm gonna give you the other Black business. For some reason, it went to the wrong one. I'm gonna give you the other site. I'm gonna give you the Black Business School site. So click on this link here, the blackbusinessschool.com, and sign up for the workshop, invest in yourself. Okay. So Pamela said, I'm almost finished reading your book, The Broke Code, as you mentioned in your session last week. Bernadette said my t-shirts are fly. $397, y'all. JD, thank you for stop working to listen to me. If you have any questions, you guys, look at, I see my Net 7 sisters on here. Oh, okay, I see some Q&As. What's the link to buy your ebook? I'm gonna put it. The link to buy my ebook is makemylivingtrust.com. I think. Y'all, here, one of the first things you do when you I'm gonna put it in the chat. One of the first things I do when I always come up with these great business ideas is the first thing I do is buy a URL. So every time I call GoDaddy, they be like, you got 50 something websites in here. Why you got so many websites? But go to makemylivingtrust.com and you can pick up the ebook. Okay. Yes, Linda said, can I take the 2-day workshop to help me enhance my business that I just started last month? Yes, yes, and yes. What is a full amount to request for financing? 1,000 to 50,000. Natalia, you can actually do 5,000 or 7,000. If you do 7,000, that's your 7,000. But we only need 5,000 for the Net 7 Collective. So if it approves you for 10,000 or 20,000, it's on you. I wouldn't, get as that much if you don't need it. But you only need 5,000. But if you wanted to get more, you certainly can get more from the financing. I'm excited that you are interested in the Net 7 Collective, and I'm excited that you guys are interested in taking this training. You got to invest in yourself. She said, Sheila said, where are the links? I don't see them. Oh, you know what? Because my stuff is going to the hosts and the panels. My bad. MakeMyLivingTrust.com. That's where you can buy the $20 ebook. Okay. And then for the workshop, here's the website for the workshop, the 2-day workshop. 2 days with Constance for $397 is a steal. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. Do you have tax strategies with business structure? Now, I am not a CPA, so I am not licensed to give you any type of legal strategies or tax strategies or anything like that. There's certain things that I do know about certain tax protections and certain exposure that you can limit your tax liability from, but I'm not a CPA, so I can't give you tax advice, anonymous attendee, but thank you for that question. Okay. Linda said, how do we invest in cannabis? And I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. An opportunity presented itself to me and I was just able to do it when it was available. So that's kind of how that happened. Like I didn't go out and pursue it. You just gotta put it out there. Would it be better to set up my business before launching it? It depends on what the business is. Okay, so it depends on what the business is. Sometimes, so say you're doing a training. Here's what Lisa Nichols always told me. She said, get the people in the course and then create the training. So if you have like a training, an online training that you're doing, you know, some people be spending weeks and weeks and weeks on the content, and then nobody is in the class. So in that case, you may want to just market, and then I'll show you how to do that inside the class. But it depends on the business. Okay, but if it's like a physical, you know, brick and mortar, or it's a product that you have, yeah, you definitely want to have the product up before you launch. Okay. So yes, that's for Naomi. Anonymous says, copyright to protect my literary property. Do we need to copyright or create ebooks or other works? This is overthinking. You're not overthinking. It depends. If you are, if you're going to be publishing it inside like Amazon, there it's copywritten inside Amazon. But if you're going to do an ebook and you want it copywritten, then perhaps you should copyright it. So yes, okay. Mashika Reed said, do you help with children and their business ideas too? Yes. Yes. Everybody. My kid. Okay, let me just tell you about my kids. My daughter, she has a hair business and she's a real estate agent. My 20-year-old son, he had a business a few years ago where he was teaching stock. He took Dr. Boyce Watkins stock trading program, and he took that information and he made money from my stock portfolio, and then he started teaching it to others. So there are some people that are on this training right now that actually was in his stock group. But my son had over 200, 300 people in his stock group. He was charging anywhere between $5 a month to $20 a month. 16 years old, and he's giving stock tips by what he learned from Dr. Boyce. So, and then my other son, my youngest son, my middle son, he ain't got a business yet, but my youngest son, he resells. So he resells like AirPods and things like that. He has clothing and stuff like that. So yeah, there's definitely different things. I encourage entrepreneurship for sure for children. So absolutely, yes. Can I write things for children, and how do I structure it to protect it? You probably want to get it copywritten, or like I said, if you publish it on Amazon, then that it's going to be copywritten material. Okay. Would you be able to assist with building a tarot card business? I can assist you with building any type of business, anonymous attendee. Yeah, it depends on how you want it structured. Do you want to have it online? Do you want to be in person? Yeah, we can help you with that. Absolutely. I'm not fluent in social media marketing. I know you can help, but will you help there? Absolutely. We're going to talk about social media. That's all part of the program. So I was only able to give you a couple of different strategies tonight, but the social media, the marketing, listen, let me tell you something. You can have the best pork chop on the south side of Atlanta, but if nobody knows about it, you're not going to sell anything. So marketing strategies are paramount to be able to get your product and services to the masses. Okay. So you obviously, I don't know most of you, but you've obviously got here probably by some type of marketing, whether it be Dr. Boyce Watkins or it be me, right? So I had to do a certain amount of marketing, whether it be Facebook ads or putting content out there or whatever. But that's a key part of the strategy of making sure that your business is viable, is the marketing piece. Okay. Yes, Patricia, if Amazon copyrights it, you do own the rights. Linda said that's where I fall short is marketing. Yeah, we have these beautiful ideas, but the marketing is that's the key. Marketing is the key. Okay. Is there any other question? Abundant returns. Yeah, you know what? Thank you for doing that. Thank you for putting your link in there. If anybody has a business that they want to share with everybody else, put that in the group so that you can share amongst yourself. Every time I get on the podcast, I always encourage people, if you listen to me at 8 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Eastern, I always encourage the listeners to to put their businesses inside the chat, because I really want you guys to be able to practice collective economics, because that's going to be the thing, the great equalizer for us. We got to stop depending on everybody else, and we got to start depending on ourselves. The code, she said, good evening. Can you repeat the code for the class? It is BBS for Black Business School. So if you go to that website, in there, the link for your 11 a.m. webinar. Oh, you talking about the podcast? You just go to my YouTube or go to flynubianmoney.com and you can see my podcast every day. So the code for Think, Build, Monetize is BBS. Y'all get in this class, invest in yourself. I'm going to go ahead and look at thank you guys for putting your businesses in there too. Thank you. Great. I love it. Matia, Net 7 Collective Cohort 2. Yes. Okay, Cassandra Cummings. That's my girl. Cassandra Cummings is my dog. That is the Stocks and Stilettos queen. I love her. Shirley Jones, Net 7 Collective Cohort 4. She is a physician and she is a holistic healthcare professional. So she's helping people to go from using food as medicine. She was on my podcast last week, blew my damn mind, and was talking about how medicine is poison. And I was just like, oh my God. So I had to go to the doctor a few days later because I was having some back problems, but I was scared. I was like, Dr. Shirley, should I go? Now I'm scared because I don't want them to give me no medication. But Dr. Shirley has a beautiful practice. Now she has a podcast. She's out here killing it. And we're creating a ecosystem for her. And so you guys got to follow Dr. Shirley. Thank you. Oh yeah, you saw Dr. Shirley. Yeah, she had me like, she said, somebody said, can you repeat the code? It's BBS. So thinkbuildmonetize.com. BBS. Am I too old to learn? Linda, can I tell you the average age of the ladies in the Net 7 Collective is about 60? So most of I said I wanted women from 25 to 65, maybe even 80, but most of the women who are in my cohort are about 60. So no, you're not too old to learn. And let me tell you, Dee is an attorney in cohort 4. And I actually got in trouble with my sister because I was telling my mom how Dee Dee's 63, I think now, but at the age of 60, Dee decided, you know what, she's an attorney. She's a prominent DC attorney. And she decided I want to start writing screenplays. And if she could shift and pivot at 60 years old and say, I want to write a screenplay, and girl is winning awards at film festivals all over the country because she decided to jump out there afraid. She didn't care. She just did it. So is 59 too old? Abso-freaking-lutely not. You got at least another 20, 30 years on this earth. Invest in yourself. Absolutely not. What time is the class in February? It's 10 a.m. Eastern time, which will be 7 a.m. Pacific if you are on the West Coast. Okay. So you are not too old. Deborah Cox, 67. See? Dee, look at my Net 7 sisters is in the house. Yes. It's Eddie Ross is 60. I love it. So it's not too old. What time is the class in February? It's at 10 a.m. Victoria Tyson, 57. Come on, Patricia Jackson, 65. These are Net 7 Collective ladies. Yes. Dates, November 8th and 9th, February 8th and 9th for the 2-day class, live class, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to get in, we're going to get a lot done. So BBS is the coupon code. Dr. Shirley, 63. Y'all, Dr. Shirley, 63. These ladies is not playing. They said we got at least 30, 40 more years of our life to go. We need to pivot. We need to do something different. And I love that. They're not just saying my life is over. I ain't gonna. No, they doing it. All these ladies, Judy, 65. Net 7 Collective cohort 2. Come on. Kamika knocking on 50. I'm knocking on 52, sis. Come on. 59 is not too old. JD, 60 with 2 grandkids. Cohort 1. Come on. Y'all. 59 is not too old. These ladies is doing it. They kicking ass and taking names. So absolutely not. I love it. Kim Booker, 58. Cohort 1. So yes, I'll give you guys will get a recorded copy of this. It'll be inside. We'll send it out via email for all the people. Travis is 62. I love it. 60 is the new 30. That's what's up. So again, I'm gonna go to the website again. I want to make sure that you guys get this, okay? Please get in this class, 2-day class. It's for you. I ain't doing this for me. Even y'all, I'm gonna be real quick. And I hate to say this, but like even with the Net 7 Collective, this is my passion project. I'm not getting rich on this. This is what I do as a passion for my love of Black people. It's not anything that's making me rich. You know what makes me rich? Real estate. Okay. This is my passion. So if you go to what was it? That Black was it? No, it was Think. Yeah, I got so many damn URLs. Thinkbuildmonetize.com. This is where you go. You click on enroll to the course for $9.97. Okay. And you put in the coupon code, make sure you put in BBS for Black Business School. BBS for Black Business School. Click buy now. And I'm pretty sure they have Afterpay, they have Klarna, so you don't even have to pay the full $3.97 all at once. So if you need a little help, there's that option in the checkout too. Okay. And then same thing for Net 7. So if you go to the Net 7 page, if you go to constancecarter.com/welcome, if you go to the Net 7 page, same thing. So if you choose to pay it in full, guess what? You have the option to make payments. You have Afterpay, you have Klarna as options in here too. For all of these payment options, you have that as well, okay? So you do have those options inside both of these things where you can pay for, you don't have to pay in full, okay? My goal to be Net 7 to be constant, huh? What'd you say, Patricia Jackson? I want to start a nonprofit for aunts and uncles raising their nieces and nephews. I love it. I love it. I am so excited for you guys. So I'm gonna let you get off the phone, but I'm gonna let you get off the phone. I'm gonna let you guys get off here, and I just want to make sure there's no more questions. There's no stones left unturned. I want to see y'all in the place in the space for $397, February 8th. I want to see this class full. I want to see you guys investing in yourself. I want to see you guys taking some time out to say, listen, this is about me. This is about what I need to do for myself. And if you are a Black woman, one of the best communities that you can become a part of is Net 7 Collective. Those are 2 options for you, but you need to invest in something in yourself. Okay. And that's what my life is about. That's my service. That's my give back. The link for 2 days is $397 is what? The link for the $397 is what? It's thinkbuildmonetize.com. It's in the somebody asked what the link was for the 2-day course. So I'm gonna go. Thank y'all again for putting y'all businesses in here. I want you guys to do business with one another. And then also I have a group called My Wealth Roadmap on Facebook. Go in there and put your businesses. I'm gonna copy and paste the link. I want you guys to go in there and share your businesses because that's what it's about. It's about us being able to network with one another. Networking is the biggest way that you can grow your business. When people know about you and then they send referrals your way. Would you help me come up with a business based on what I'm good at? Yes. Yes. Well, Net 7 Collective is more for that because we look at what you're good at. We look at your strengths. So Vandeline, I will definitely, so the workshop, the 2-day workshop is, you should already have an idea in mind because we don't have the bandwidth in that setting to be able to help you come up with an idea that you're good at. But in Net 7 Collective, absolutely. So if that's something that you want to do, you should definitely look at Net 7 Collective. The Facebook is called My Wealth Roadmap. Join the group. Is this recorded? Yes, it is recorded. The link for, and Linda, I just put the link for the 2-dayer inside. It's the Black Business School link. And remember to put the code BBS so that you don't pay the full price. And the code, the $600 off code is only good for the next 24 hours. So it's going to be off tomorrow night at midnight. Okay. It starts. Will you do the 2-day class again? I don't know. I don't know because I have some other trainings that are going to be coming up, some different types of training. So I don't know if I'll have the time or the bandwidth to do the 2-day training again. So I'm not sure. So sorry about that, Anita. Thank you. My wealth roadmap. I do. I have a book with that. Yes. I think that's it. Okay. No more questions, right? I want to see y'all faces in the places. And this is going to be workshops also. It's not going to be webinar. We're going to be seeing you. I'm going to be all up in your grill. You're going to be all up in my grill. All right. Yes. I see people already signing up for the training. So thank you. I'm so happy. Ginger says she asked a question, but I don't see it. Where's your question? Did you ask it in the Q&As, Ginger? Ginger, what's your question, Ginger? She said I asked a question. Because I'm about to get up off here. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know people got to go. Do you have a $397 payment plan? Ginger, if you go to the website, if you go to that Black Business School website, if you do the $397, when you go to checkout, it's going to give you payment options. So it's going to give you the Klarna or Afterpay, which gives you further breakdown in the payments. So you'll be able to have that payment plan option inside that. Okay. So for the $397, you do the BBS, and then when you go to checkout, it'll give you options to do Afterpay or Klarna. Okay. Thank you, Josephine, for being on here. I'm so glad that you were on here tonight. Janelle has a question. What was your question, Janelle? I don't see anything in the Q&As. Where do I get a replay of this? We'll send out a replay for all the folks who registered. But I need to see y'all faces in the place. I don't want this class to be empty. I want you guys to invest in yourself, okay? All right. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep, boss. It's 9:47. It's past my bedtime. No more questions. I love you guys to death. See me tomorrow on Fly Nubian Money and on my podcast, the Grow Your Money podcast. And look at y'all, I got a book. Unbreakable. This is the Net 7 Collective. This is our cohort. This is our book. I have the hardback copy and I have the paperback copy. You guys go to Amazon and grab our book from the Net 7 Collective so you could see here. So one of the things that we did inside the Net 7 Collective is I showed them how to create their books and write these amazing books with these amazing hooks, and it's exciting. And so there's 17 women in here who wrote their truths and their stories, and they are powerful. So go to Amazon and grab the book Unbreakable. You can grab anybody's, whether it's Dr. Shirley's or Kamika's or Yia's or Candace or Janette, anybody's book, or mine, Constance Carter, whoever's book. Support us, get the book and read the book, because I think it's going to be transformative for you. Okay. I can't wait for you to join Net 7, encouraging her to join. Who you encouraging to join Net 7? Natalia? Yes, I love it. I cannot wait. I hope that you are in the upcoming cohort. I appreciate y'all. I love you for real, in real life, for real, for real. You guys have a good night.